Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. Fear, confusion, misinformation, and of course a deadly virus has now really pierced the entire global population via this coronavirus. And I gotta tell you, it's really going to be difficult to use discernment to figure out what is actually going on, because you're already dealing with, a super state of over 1 billion people that has an insurmountable clamp on information and its populace of over 1 billion, right? Over 1 billion. And perhaps nothing says that more than this quote-unquote whistleblower, Dr. Li Wenlang, who apparently was trying to warn people about the virus and then got the virus and apparently has now died from the virus. Why do I say apparently? Because there was so much misinformation and disinformation over the last 2 days about this guy. Whether, in fact, he had died, whether he had not died, the state was saying that he hadn't. Not that you can believe China. Not that you can believe China. Okay? And, of course, that went away. But, man, that upsets me. Because right now they're saying the coronavirus death toll tops 600 as the number of cases passes 31,000. Now, the Daily Mail just reset on me, but a lot of people were talking about 24,000 plus deaths just yesterday because of a screenshot from a large news network there. What we do know is that they have successfully quarantined 50 million people. We also know they went door to door and told people to stop spreading misinformation about this disease. Now, on top of that, a second hospital has now opened where they are treating these cases. And I got to tell you, I would think with a population of 1.1 billion and with the 50 million quarantined, I'd say that this number that they're giving us officially of 600 dead is probably low. Is it as high as 24,000? I don't know that it's that high either. Okay, the scariest thing to me still remains this quarantine, and we're going to get to that. So, we also have, Royal Caribbean barring Chinese passport holders. We have basically these cruise liners stopping. We're seeing this more and more and more. That's probably a pretty good idea. Now, when we talk about the globe, right, it looks like they're now going to try to push a new vaccination through the World Health Organization. And to me, this is scary, because if they're able to mandatorily vaccinate 50 million people, maybe more in China, that's a big beta test, like it or not. As far as I know, the regular flu is still the number one stunner, still kills a lot more people than the coronavirus. And its lethality, the doctor was very young, but who's to say what's going on there? I'm not sure. There's so much misinfo and disinfo. So out of the people tested for coronavirus in the United States, only 5% were found positive. Okay? That's 1 in 20 tested. All right? 1 in 20. And so far as I know, there have been no fatalities in the United States from this. Something to note. Okay? Now, we're going to go from the most absurd, what is this, Vox? Yeah, Vox is trying to say, the potential treatments for coronavirus via artificial intelligence. We had the one guy who tested positive for coronavirus, said he just had some honey and some whiskey. Some whiskey and honey. And apparently that got, that was a big misinformation campaign on Twitter and Facebook and fake news, and you're not allowed to say things like that, and that's going to be controlled. Again, I still think there's a large amount of hype surrounding this, and leave it to NPR, although obviously I can't stomach the shots part, to do really the smartest article on this whole thing in regards to quarantining people and leprosy and the stigma that had, and how it wasn't so long ago in this country that her grandfather was quarantined for over a decade at a place where he wasn't really even treated. And then finally, during the last 3 years of his life, he does go to a hospital where they treat it, but he doesn't survive. All right? And, let's read some of this. Hundreds of people returning to the U.S. from Wuhan, China, face mandatory 2-week quarantines. Now, the mandatory ones, that means you're going to a facility. We've covered this when this was first announced last week. Now, there's supposedly another one of 2 weeks supervised quarantine, whatever that means. Okay? Slippery slope already here in the United States. And in China, the government is rounding up those who show signs of the deadly coronavirus to be confined in massive quarantine centers. That's extremely scary. What don't people understand about that aspect of it being extremely frightening? That a military and a government clamps down on the amount of information, quarantines 50 million people, builds facilities, okay, and then takes a subset of those 40 millions and further quarantines them. I'm concerned about that. And I'm especially concerned about that coming to a microscopic level to the United States already. Very small level. But people are so fearful that you wonder how far this will go. Okay? Protecting public health is a delicate balance between the rights and freedom of individuals and the safety of society. But past efforts to isolate disease show that such moves, as well-intentioned as they might be, don't always go as planned and perhaps offer a cautionary lesson. When my husband's grandfather was diagnosed with leprosy in Connecticut in 1922, the first thing he did was run away. He packed his things that night and left his family and business behind to move to New York. It was the only state at the time that did not require those with the much-feared infectious disease to be sent to a remote hospital in Carville, Louisiana, and confined. By hiding from authorities, he could keep his freedom and presumably go on with his life. Okay? Think about that. People ran away. Now, the stigma was so great that people kept it for 60 years secret. Okay? 60 years. So, I see people in the quotes going, well, leprosy was not nearly as contagious, yet we still quarantined those people. And again, I don't know what to believe with this because there is such a massive amount of misinformation and disinformation. However, I do not think that hundreds of thousands are dead. It may be in the thousands or possibly tens of thousands, but that's purely speculation. I do not like regimes that clamp down on speech. But remember who enables those regimes. It's the technopoly. It's the Googles of the world. It's the Kissingers of the world back in the day. The Brzezinskis. The Nixons. All right? The George H.W. Bushes. Who do you think helped erect this stuff? In fact, a lot of people don't know, but George H.W. Bush, he was like an ambassador to China. Okay? He did all sorts of Chinese relations back in the 70s. You can go look it up. Check it out. Watch how they progress this society. And if those guys are involved, it's scary. It's scary. Guys, I'm doing it 3 to 7 times a day over here. If you want to support me, check out my rockfin.com/Jason Burmis. I'm going to put that in the live chat right now. If you don't know what this is, I'm doing 5 exclusive videos a week. And tonight, I think I'm going to live stream the entire debate from 8 to 11 p.m. via Rockfin, so I can give my live commentary. If you're a premium subscriber, you'll be able to do that. You have to hit endorse Jason for $9.99 a month. You get those 5 videos a week, which is 20 videos a month, plus everybody else's content on here that you will not see anywhere else. So Rockfin, very exciting. I'm a documentary filmmaker. Loose Change, Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order to Find, and Shade the Motion Picture are free here. Make sure you thumbs this video up, subscribe, and share. And guys, here's the deal. Let's go to the GoFundMe. Boom. If we hit $2,000 on the GoFundMe. Oh, did we not do it? Went to the wrong one. I want to view it. Bam. If we hit $2,000 before Monday morning, even though there's a blizzard going on outside, I'm getting up to 9 inches, there's ice everywhere, I will go to New Hampshire late Monday night, early Tuesday morning, and I will cover it there live and stream, outside of voting districts, see what else I can get done. But obviously, that's a trip that's going to cost me cash. So we have to at least hit $2,000 of the $5,000 goal before Monday morning, and I will live stream from New Hampshire the primary voting and results. So if you want that, that's how you can support me. $5, $10, $15. It means the world to me. Otherwise, I do it monthly, and that's how I support myself. So I love you guys, and I'll see you on the flip.